Ye Olde Pleasure Fair. While there are many that occur around the United States, only one has the fancy of being able to boast itself as the original Renaissance pleasure fair. In 1963, a Los Angeles schoolteacher by the name of Phyllis Patterson held a Renaissance fair as a class activity in the backyard of her home in the Hollywood Hills. On May 11th and 12th, Phyllis and her husband Ron presented the first Renaissance Pleasure Fair as a one-weekend fundraiser for KPFK, a listener-sponsored radio station serving the Southern California area. Even in this early stage, the fair drew some 8,000 people. The fair was designed by the Living History Center to resemble an actual spring market fair of the period. Many of the original booths were no-charge reenactments of historical activities, including printing presses, clothing weavers, and blacksmiths. The first commercial vendors were mostly artisans and food merchants, and were required to demonstrate historical accuracy or plausibility for their wares. Groups of volunteers were organized into guilds to focus on specific reenactment duties, such as musicians, military, Celtic clans, peasants, you name it. Both actors and vendors were required to successfully complete workshops in period language and accents, in costuming, in culture, and, of course, to stay in character while working. This is a practice of operation that remains today. The original Renaissance Pleasure Fair of Southern California, or RPFS, was held in the spring of 1966 at the Paramount Ranch, located in Agoura, California, and it focused on the practices of Old English springtime markets and Maying customs, such as the maypole. 5 years later, the Pattersons created a fall Renaissance fair with a harvest festival theme close to San Francisco, which is commonly referred to as Northern Fair by California locals. Today, you'll be able to find the original Renaissance Pleasure Fair at the Santa Fe Dam Recreation Area near Irwindale. The fair is generally open from the first weekend of April through the weekend before Memorial Day, and is a commercial reenactment of the 1580s of a market fair at the fictional town of Port Deptford during a visit of Queen Elizabeth I. You'll find characters of both historical and fantastical nature, but be prepared to have a Puritan shake a Bible at you if you're, well, breathing. But especially if you're of a fantasy nature. The fae folk you'll see about are known as the Fantasticals. They work in mime and dance and can canonically only be seen by children, drunkards, and other fantastical beings or beasts. And while you may appear in your casual modern earthwear of shorts and a t-shirt, I really recommend getting in the spirit of things. It may be a bit warmer for you, but it does seem to add to the immersion of the experience. And depending on your level of commitment, can be done fairly easily. My partner and I, of course, are costume crazy a little bit ourselves, so we had a wider thing to pull from, but here's what we wore. As you can see, while her costuming was a bit more specialized than what I chose to wear that day, most of my items were found on Amazon. But also bear in mind, you get what you pay for. There are plenty of vendors at the fair if you choose to get your costume there, including costume rental. My personal recommendation is to see the joust, the fantastic dancers and performers of Clan McCullen, the Merry Wives of Windsor, and of course, the oubliette. If your current identification shows you as old enough to drink on this planet, that is. Take these adventures to heart. Hop through a portal and experience the original Renaissance Pleasure Fair for yourself. Keep on the windy side of care, and until next time, stay curious.